Step 4, we call the shuffle. It's the final organizing step in which you place the information within each section into the order that's going to make the most sense to your reader. The most important thing is you don't try to place all 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of information in order at one time. You simply go to a section and you decide which piece of information should be first, which makes the most sense to come first of all what's there, and you put it first. After you've done that, of what remains that you haven't placed, decide what needs to go first. Put that after the one you just did. Of what remains, which needs to go first. Put it in that spot and repeat until you have only one piece of information left that you believe should be the last in that section. Then you go to section 2 and decide which piece of information needs to be first, and so on and so on. When you finish step 3, your document should look something like this. You've got each section with its heading. You have each piece of information beneath that heading that goes with it. So all the 1s are together, 2s together, 3s, and 4s. Each piece of information has quotation marks, beginning and end, a source letter, and page number if it applies. If there's no page numbers, then it's just the source letter. Again, each piece of information, section number, quotation marks, source letter, period. Once we have those, we simply take a look at these 4 pieces of information. If we feel like, as we read it, this third piece of information makes most sense to go first, then we're just going to go ahead and put it first. If we feel like this one should be last, we can drag and drop it or Control X to cut it. And we just make a space for it. Feel like that when we read it to ourselves, that makes the most sense, then that's what we're going to leave that section in. If you only have 2 or 3 pieces of information in a section, it's actually easier to organize it. Again, if you only have the 15 pieces of information and you have 4 sections, you're only going to have typically 4 or 5, maybe 6 at most. And you might have some that only have 2 or 3, and that's all right. You just decide which of the 2 or 3 needs to go first and move it in the order. Again, the information is the order that's going to make the most sense to your reader. Don't worry about what source it came from. Don't worry about where it was found in the source. It's a question of whether you think it makes the most sense to be in that particular order. Once you've done that for all the sections, step 5, exhale. Would you believe you've actually finished what many consider to be the hardest part of research writing, where you actually go through all the information and you figure out where it's going to go. You start to organize it. Go ahead and submit your organizing step and do a little dance because you have earned the right to celebrate.